WWE legend Edge.
Yo! You actually do stuff that I look at and go, I blow both hips out.
Bro, I seen you do a spear off the top of a ladder.
That was stupid. I was put here to be a girl dad. You also realize, like, instantaneously, oh, I can murder someone.
Are you Scandinavian at all?
Yeah, it's like you can watch a movie on my forehead. Like, it's a Viking, because you get on talk shows and they say, oh, so can you growl? And I'm like, well, I'm not a trained monkey. I wear tights for a living, sure, okay, but...
Yo, are we rolling? Are we actually?
Sir.
Our sound?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Speed?
I don't believe.
Who is that person?
Who was that?
Who was that,
Who was
dude?
that?
Who the f was that, dude?
Sound next, it's me, Nick.
Where are you sitting?
I'm behind you guys.
No way.
Dude, never before. First time ever a sound guy had. All right, hold on. Can I try something real quick? Jamie, can you pull that up on the screen real quick?
Yeah, I got you.
Yo, we have a producer. This is
Wow,
sick,
that's
dude.
why has that never happened before?
Bro, that's sick. Hey, have you talked about the documentary thing at all? Are you allowed to?
I don't think so. It's a surprise project. We got a surprise project. It's why all these big cameras are in the room. I don't think you guys can see them, but there's a couple cameras like this big, the big cameras shooting us right now for a piece that I think is gonna be like the best thing ever.
Dude, for people who really want to see what goes on under the hood, like, and I mean really see what goes on.
I let him in too much.
So much.
Yeah.
Both of us.
It's gonna be good though. Guys, welcome back to Impulsive, a show where we talk about nothing. It is the #1 podcast in the world, though. That's a fact. Why would I make that up? If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me. We got a big weekend here. WrestleMania is coming up this weekend, but by the time this show is out, you'll have already seen it. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to do this intro because our guest is in the room. He's very busy. He's a busy guy. He's doing a bunch of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a WWE legend who holds the second most championships in WWE history with 31. That's according to Wikipedia. He's an absolute icon in and out of the ring and seminal moments as one half of a legendary tag team with continued excellence as a single superstar. He is Edge.
Yo.
All right, I gotta move this bad boy out. There we go. There we go. And that's when the stadium starts singing.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I am so jealous you got a sing intro song.
I came prepared.
Yeah.
I went to Ralph's this morning
Yes.
and I saw me some Prime. And I figured you guys would have a lot of energy. So I got me some orange mango. Product placement, everybody.
Let's go. Earn media. Dude, thank you, man. 10 calories,
That's
0
good.
grams of sugar.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's a good
Actually,
flavor.
It's really good.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
I actually I use these now as my pre-workout.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's my product. No, actually, fuck that. It's an amazing product
There you go.
that I happen to own.
Yeah.
Part of, but it's good, especially for workouts, man. I've been
Yeah.
going crazy this
Okay.
WrestleMania. Like
Well-
I'm ready, bro. I'm trying to impress people like you when I go in the ring because I got to pay homage to the hard work and decades of work that you've put into this industry.
Well, so here's the thing. Like, you know, you always have some people that go, oh, okay, a celebrity, right? Forgetting that Mr. T was in the main event of WrestleMania 1. Liberace was there. Muhammad Ali was there. Cyndi Lauper was there. You actually get in and go. And do stuff that I look at and go, man, I'd blow both hips out right now if I did that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, right. Edge,
I'd try it.
Adam. Yeah, right. What are you talking about, bro? I seen you do a spear off the top of a ladder. That's like that's the highest spear in WWE history.
That was stupid.
I think so too. Dude.
Yeah.
I watched it because I'm trying to do these like crazy stunts,
Yeah.
and someone sent me, and I was like, dude, that's a move you gotta like bite the bullet for.
You just can't think.
No, you can't. You just
All
gotta send
thought
it, right?
right out of your head.
Okay, but
You've done that too. Some of the jumps you do are insane. Like I watch them from the sidelines, and I'm curious. Do you still look at him as like a part timer? Like, how do you guys in the locker room still like look
Shit,
at him?
they call me a part timer. Like the jaded malcontents are always going to have something to complain about, right?
Got it.
Here's how I look at it. You step in there, you're good with me.
Got it.
And I've always looked at it as if you can bring our eyeballs to our product, you're my friend. That's what it's about.
trying.
Yeah.
But
that's if you're truly comfortable in your position within wrestling and within this company, then
Yeah.
you don't sweat that. You welcome it.
you know where I get a little cognizant of my position is guys like you and the traditional wrestlers who are showing up every week, 52 weeks a year to do their SmackDown, the Monday Night Raws. Dude, I have four events a year, like at least this year.
It's a different path for everybody, though.
Yeah,
it just is. For me, I saw this when I was 10, and I went, "That's it. I have to do that." I can't go slap hands with the Incredible Hulk, but I can go to Maple Leaf Gardens and see Hulk Hogan. So for me, that was kind of like, I loved the larger than life. It was Kiss, it was wrestling, it was comic books, that's my era. So when I saw wrestling, I was like, well, I need to do that. And there was you couldn't dissuade me from it at all.
I feel like most people in the WWE now have had that exact reaction to when they first saw wrestling. They had to do it.
Yeah, for the most part, but not all the time, and there's no one path into this. It's a weird gig, but it's amazing. And there's so many different ways to get into it.
Yeah, I guess I just feel kind of not bad, but man, you have the weeklies who are really like actively building this organization every single week, and I get to come in and capitalize on the goodwill that they've sacrificed their bodies for, again, 4 times a year.
Yeah, sure.
And by the way, I'm not going to stop, but for the wrestlers listening to this, I'm cognizant of it, and I appreciate your hard work that I get to benefit off of 4 times a year.
I think what you do on those 4 times a year, and I think that you realize this, is that you really have to show up those 4 times. Like,
I'm always
dude,
afraid
like,
I'm going to slip or something.
Like, bro, when he shows up those 4 times a year, like you'll even say it, I'm sure. Like from the outside, it's just been insane to watch. Like some of these moves are crazy.
And what's really interesting about that, because if you perform less, I find it harder for me personally.
Right.
Because if I'm in the grind and I'm continuing to do it, I used to do 220 shows a year. There's no way I could pull that off now. I'm 49 years old, right? So, but I find it harder to do one every 3 months or so.
Because you get rusty.
Yeah. I got to keep that. We call it the bump callus, right? Every bump you take kind of builds up a little bit of callus.
It's
and
so real.
it is. And we talked about it. You were
Yeah.
like, how do you like keep going after you fall? Well, you just get used to it eventually. Your body, we're all stupid. So you eventually just, your body gets desensitized to it, and it's amazing what the human body can put up with.
Yeah. And
If you push it.
If you push it, and it's much easier to push it when there's 15,000, 20,000, 60,000 people watching. Something about jumping off a ladder is a little easier when there's that many people watching you.
My God, when we were doing it in front of no one in the Thunderdome,
Dude, screw that.
and I could hear the crew fart while I'm doing a match, and I'd be like, inside, I just landed. I just took a choke slam from Kane or something, which really hurts, especially with no people, and could literally hear a dude farting.
That's like me on this podcast with him.
It's the worst.
Every time.
Just busting ass.
Fart.
But seriously, I remember landing and I went, oh. And it hurt. And it hurt so much more.
Okay, of course. Of course. So I don't think I could have done that. I don't think I could have ever subjected my body to that kind of torment without the big payoff. I'll just say it.
Well, and the payoff being that instant gratification, right? So that's what I've found, like in any acting I've done. It's great. Acting's really fun. It's a creative outlet. It taps into that vein. And I need that in my life. But nothing for me hits me in the heart, in the soul, and like all of it like this does. When you have entrance music and as soon as that first chord, that first word, that first instant, and those people explode,
Dude,
Well, it's
Put it in a
easy for
bottle.
you to say because you have the greatest
they're saying it's one of the best
walkout
entrance
song
musics.
of all time.
I mean, I'm biased, but yeah, I think it is. But it's just, it's amazing to get that reaction. And you feed off of that. I mean, shit, I got a triple fusion on my neck. I'm not supposed to be doing this. But yet I get out there and I don't feel a thing.
How did you make your walkout song? Like, how did that come about? Because I had 2, and then at WrestleMania, I'm gonna by the time this comes out, we'll have debuted my new one that I like worked on and actually like feel really good about. but it's a hard process to pick that music.
It is, and I'm very hands-on with all of the creative aspects of my
Super.
character. Like I'm really hands-on, and I always have been. Probably to the point when I first came in, they're like, "Who's this kid who wants his music this way,
Yeah.
and who draws his own tights,
Yeah.
and who designs his trench coats and his T-shirts?" But I've just always been that way. I've always been artistic, and I want to be involved in that process. So if you see it on me, I was a part of developing that.
Yeah, totally.
And that to me is important. It's a brand.
That's what I was gonna ask.
It's a
you.
brand. And with the music, honestly, it was the most important aspect of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it kicks me into gear. And if
Totally.
it can kick me into gear, then I'm going to throw as much energy as it gives me at the audience. And if I throw it at them, they should throw it back at me twofold. And now you got this reciprocal thing going on. And now it's like the closest thing I can think of is like a concert, or maybe like a stand-up even, where if the set's killing and you feel that energy from the audience, and if it's not, got to switch it up.
Yeah.
But with the music, a buddy of mine, I went to a Metallica concert when I was out with my first neck surgery. So I'm wearing a neck collar and everything. He goes, "Hey, want to come meet my brother?" And I said, "Sure." Went over. His brother's Mark Tremonti, who is the guitarist for Alter Bridge. And they hadn't released an album yet, though. He goes, "Here, check out this album." So he played me the whole first album. I heard the fourth song. I was like, "Hey, when I come back from my neck, can I use that?"
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you got like a major
Oh, man.
track.
And he was like, "I own it, so sure." And
You're so lucky. They're really strict about that now.
yeah.
Yeah, like I tried to use potentially music that I already liked,
Yeah.
or like a friend's, an artist even who I'm friends with. They won't let me.
Well, it's because of perpetuity and
Yeah, of course,
video
It's
games.
hard.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
But Mark just said, "Yeah, take it, use it," and he was smart because he owned it. So there was no like record company getting in the middle and trying to get more and gouging for money or anything like that. He knew this was going to get played every week in 120 countries.
yeah.
It's their most downloaded song. It's all of those things. So
that-
it worked out for both of us because, man, my career feels different without that.
Well, that walkout music, it's like anybody can relate to this, whether they're a wrestler or not. Like when you go to the gym, you put on, I listen to A Day to Remember. I listen to shit that pumps me up.
Yeah.
It makes me want to work out, work hard, So I couldn't imagine having like a song that didn't get me in the zone when I had to walk out to 30, 40,000 people to perform.
Yeah, man. And the first couple of years I had one like that. And I was like, just every time I came out, I was like, I don't feel this.
It's not it.
It's not it.
That's what I was feeling.
And that's hard. It really, really is, especially if you're trying to present this overall package. It's important.
Yeah, you're super hands on. I was sent the documentary that you sent me. Is it out? It is out. What's it called? What's your doc called? The recent
I
one.
I got a few. Not sound like an asshole, but I don't know which one.
No, the most recent of your comeback.
Yeah. Well, there's one. The
Oh
second.
no, I know it. Second Mountain.
Second Mountain. Okay, that's not the most recent one. That was
No way.
when
He
I
tricked
first
you.
came back. And that's the other great thing about that song is the lyrics I can actually relate to them. Adam, not just Edge, like Adam can actually relate to what that song says.
Yeah.
And even more so after coming back this time, because I was retired for 9 years. Like that ship hadn't sailed. It was like on the fucking other side of the world.
This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. And what a perfect time considering April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month to help raise awareness and to fundraise for a good cause. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to remind you to check your golden nuggets this month for anything not so golden. And while you're down there, shave your balls while you save your balls. Support a good cause and go to manscaped.com and use the code Logan to get 20% off plus free shipping. Since April is National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, I want to take a second to talk about men's health issues that are important to us. Did you know one guy every hour, every day is diagnosed with testicular cancer? So this is a reminder to all the men listening to check yourselves. Manscaped, in addition to providing the right tools and solutions for safe and easy manscaping, has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to spread awareness for men's health and early cancer detection. So while you're down there cleaning up your sack, why not go ahead and give them a little investigation for lumps, changes in size, or any pain? To help remind guys to check themselves for testicular cancer for a limited time, you can get their new special edition purple TCS Lawnmower 4.0 electric waterproof trimmer. This special edition trimmer is a collectible item. There are only 10,000 units in existence, so make sure to get yours today while supplies last. Once they're gone, they are gone. With the launch of their special edition Lawnmower 4.0 purple trimmer, Manscaped will be donating $50,000 to their longtime partner, the Testicular Cancer Society, to help those impacted by testicular cancer. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Logan at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code Logan at manscaped.com. Make sure to spread the news and tell your buddies to check themselves in Testicular Awareness Month. Now back to the program.
So to get this thing back after all that time, like 9 years, a long time to not do this. And I had another neck surgery in that time, had 2 little girls in that time. And it was actually them. They were the impetus for me to I was falling into dad bod zone.
I
And
know that zone.
Yeah. And I was like, I was wearing cargo shorts and flip flops and I was about 260. And I
Adam
went,
Sandler. Nice.
you know, and I just thought, I get tired walking up the stairs just now. I need to be around for these girls, because we started having kids after I retired the first time when I was 40. So I'm an older dad. I knew if I want to be there at 70 and look like Gandalf, then I better
Get some stem cells.
get it together. You know? Yeah.
Get some stem cells.
But man, I just I dialed in my diet. I started using a meal company, built a gym in the house, and that changed everything.
Oh,
Sick.
nice. Oh, you like working out at home?
I hate working out in gyms anywhere else,
Oh, got it.
because if I'm there to work, I'm not there to look at my phone.
Take pics
I'm
for
not there
people.
to like, I just saw a dude watching a movie while he's doing crunches. And I actually went over to him. I was like,
ridiculous.
well,
What are you doing?
what are you doing, man?
Do you like trainers?
No.
Some people don't.
Well, here's the deal. Like, I got a fused wrist, right?
it.
I got half a pec attached here. I got no labrum. I got a triple fusion in my neck. I got a torn Achilles. This pec completely torn off. This tricep torn off. I got to tailor my
Based on the day, almost.
based on what I'm feeling,
Right.
based on my injuries, based on what I've been through, right? So I even built the gym with that in mind.
Specific equipment.
Specific. Everything's very specific to my needs and my capabilities.
Got it.
I find that the environment that I'm working out in really affects sometimes the quality of my
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Massive.
this thing, it's just it's my tastes.
Yeah.
It's everything that I like.
And no trainer either.
No trainer.
Is that because you don't like being pushed by someone else or someone telling you what to do?
I don't really know. I think I always feel like I have a good knowledge of my body.
Well, yeah.
And part of that is from wrestling. You really start to understand, just the dynamics of your body and the mechanics of it. Like, I can see somebody fall and know what's going to hurt.
Right.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I go, oh, okay. He just reached back. He's going to feel that in his elbow, his shoulder, collarbone.
Yeah.
And if he lands like that, he's probably going to land lower back first. Lower back can be real sore. Then he's going to whiplash his neck. So all of that is going to be affected. Like, I'm this weird
Analytics machine.
Yes.
You know
yeah,
exactly
I
what's going
see
on.
a bump and I go,
Should have tucked. Should
Yeah.
have tucked that head.
yeah. So like my kids now, when they're playing, I'm like, you fall that way, this is what's going to happen. And they're like, whatever, Dad. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, you talked a couple minutes ago about Adam, and you basically separated the two
Absolutely.
entities. We just had Rey Mysterio on, obviously, whose entities are so detached, so masked on one side, and the other side is just completely different. What are the core differentiators between Adam and Edge?
So it's slowly grown closer, especially with this run and coming back after the retirement and the second neck surgery and everything. It's a lot closer to Adam now. And I really made that conscious decision to go out there when I have a microphone. It's not many filters. Obviously I got to ramp it up. I got to get intense. I got to sell tickets, got to do all of those things. But I also try to be really relatable. And by being relatable, I just throw Adam out there. And because everybody sees the documentaries, because they see the story that it took to get back, I mean, that's all Adam. That's got nothing to do with Edge. It's just to get back to being Edge. But I meet somebody, it's Adam, nice to meet you. And
Right.
There's a character.
Do you think that that's like kind of a direction that the WWE has started to move as an organization to be a little bit more relatable and transparent? Because when you compare it to the days of like the Attitude Era, right, and to now, it's such a drastic difference, and it really is an ode to how good of at branding the WWE is, because that's the way that that society and the internet has moved. They want more relatable, more transparent characters. They want to know who these people actually are. and they want to see what goes on under the hood. So do you think that that's the reason why you're moving and WWE's moving in that direction? Or
I mean, I was always kind of that direction. Like I didn't do the whole when I'm outside the ring, if I meet you in a Waffle House, Adam, nice to meet you,
right,
you know, or it'd be funny because you get on talk shows and they say, "Oh, so can you growl?" And I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm a human.
Why would I just sit here and growl? Like, well, I'm not a trained monkey. Like, I wear tights for a living, sure, okay, but I'm not wearing them now. You know? So I love talking about wrestling. I love talking about like the layers of story, and to me, that's what we are. It's just a different form of storytelling. It's a different it's entertainment. You got movies on this branch, you got television on this branch, you got podcasts on this branch, music on this branch, you got wrestling over here. It's all the same tree. And I love telling stories in the ring. It's amazing.
It's the secret sauce of this industry that I wasn't entirely tuned into, and I'm still not totally, but it's the thing that I think really draws me in. You're telling a performative art story with badass physicality and a dance partner.
And you're your own stunt person.
Yeah.
And there's no cut.
Yeah.
It's live.
It's live. Yo, it's live.
It's live. And that's where the I don't want to slip comes in, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But I've yet to encounter anything that like is this fondue pot of just amazing elements.
That's what it is. It's a fondue pot of epicness. It has almost every aspect of entertainment that people are drawn to in one.
And I think by opening up and cameras everywhere and all of those things, I think the audience and an outside audience besides the hardcore really got to kind of like, oh, okay, they peeled the curtain back now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not you're in your character 24/7 and there's no form of entertainment in this. It's all like an athletic contest and the winner is the winner. It's like, okay, we can get past that.
there's more to the story.
Yeah, this is storytelling.
Right.
And I love it.
I think when people are drawn to characters as well, who maybe aren't I think people who maybe aren't traditional WWE fans are drawn to and invested in a character and a person. It really helps the industry as well. Like kind of what Mike was saying, the difference between Edge and Adam, and the line is getting more and more blurry. But I think it's good because people want to know who you are.
Well, yeah,
you know?
they become invested in the person behind the character.
Yeah.
You know, and where wrestling is strange though is like I've always said, you don't go up to like Johnny Depp and go, Mr. Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right.
But everybody will come up to me and say Edge, which is cool. I get it.
Well, think about it for a second. I mean, one of the biggest things about being a celebrity or any kind of personality is relatability. And if you were just the Edge, it would be very hard for me to relate to that person. Like, I don't jump off the top rope very often. I'm not spearing people. I'm not going up against the Undertaker.
Then you're smarter than me.
You know what I'm saying? But when I find out that Adam, had, something happen in his personal life, all of a sudden that takes on a whole new meaning to me. And now I have an attachment to that character in the ring because of the attachment that I have to Adam as a person. I think that the WWE, along with a lot of orgs, have gotten smart to that and have said, yo, this is our route into relatability to the audience.
I think other forms of athletics have started to discover that too.
Yep.
Like I love hockey, right?
Yep.
My favorite sport. I'm Canadian. I got no choice.
Right.
But the one thing about it is it's like there's not a lot of charismatic hockey players. There's not a lot of behind the curtain kind of thing. And it's starting to, and guys are starting to get it. And I look to Connor McDavid and I see like he totally got it. He was being a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid?
Yeah.
Is he a hockey player? Conor McGregor, bro.
Conor McGregor. I'm sorry. Conor McDavid is the best hockey player in the world.
I'm like, what? I'm like, there's a Conor McDavid.
I'm full hockey brain.
Got it.
Full hockey brain.
That's fair.
Connor Mick. So McGregor was doing Vince.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And slash Roddy Piper.
It's crazy how if an athlete can unlock that charisma, their stock value goes through the roof. And that's what every wrestler
Because people will buy to see you either get beat or win.
Yeah.
You don't want apathy. Apathy. Ugh. By the way,
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
this is kicking
Are you-
in.
how far are you where?
I'm about here.
Yeah, you might want to.
Yeah, maybe chill.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of liking it.
I'm gonna crack one as well.
Those are good. I drink those before my workouts. They get me.
Yeah.
They get me cranking.
Yeah.
But you're seeing it with hockey a little bit too. Like there's the one. maybe you don't know him, but there's the one African American player who's been very vocal about his struggles as an African American in the hockey space.
Yeah,
And
there's Ryan Reeves. There's quite a few. Wayne Simmons plays for my team, Maple Leafs, and that's changing too. They've really, I think the powers that be within hockey have understood like this just can't be a sport for farmers from Saskatchewan.
I didn't know that it was that crazy until he started. I feel bad because I can't remember his name now. Started speaking out about it, but that's another output of people being relatable in the space, because now when someone at that level says there's an issue in the space, now the audience is going to say, oh, okay, we got to change this.
Yeah.
And an org is not going to change until the money and the audience says, yo, you need to fucking step up and change this.
And also, why would you in any way just like, there's a whole new market there. There's a whole new market of children who could play now. And just imagine the freak athletes you're going to get, you know? So, but hockey's my thing. That's why I went to Connor McDavid. And thankfully somebody, I was talking about the best hockey player in the world. Jesus. It was this thing.
He's getting hyped up.
It'll get your wheels spinning. As someone who is super hands-on with their brand, which you don't always find in any industry and the WWE, and I assume the org likes that input, right? Or
I'm sure I probably get annoying sometimes, you know, because I'm the same way with my matches too. I'm the same way with my stories.
Okay.
Like I write my promos.
So I kind of just started to dabble in that because I want to be a team player and do what I'm told, but at the same time, as someone who's like, I don't have a character, bro. I'm just myself. So I gotta like be myself.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. Did you always want to become like the Edge that you became? And did it go the route you wanted? Did you have a vision for who you wanted to be when you first started the WWE? Or were you adapting on the fly based on the audience and the org?
A little bit of both. You know, I had a vision, but sometimes that vision wouldn't take like I thought it would.
Yeah.
Or I couldn't get the foothold that I thought it would. You know, when I first came in, there was no real direction for what my character was. It was just like, okay, we want you to be this guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, they wanted me to quote poetry and like, and I was like one of the descriptions was kind of like Jim Morrison. I was like,
What?
So, wait, what? I just like
The lead singer of the Doors?
yeah. So I just
amazing.
like wandered down drunk and like recite poetry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I can do with
Take
that.
acid? Like,
Then
what?
there was one point where I wasn't going to be able to speak or hear.
Just a deaf mute.
Yeah.
What are you
And
talking
dude, they
about?
really were putting.
What are you talking
Yes.
about?
Yeah. So these are all things that I was like, whoa.
And then a vampire, like,
let's
just like-
go over here. And when we started the Brood, I was like, okay, this I can sink my teeth into. But I'm here all day. But that's where I first started feeling like, oh, okay, we got something here.
Right.
This is fun. This is a character now. Now I can, and we got this music. We're kind of bouncing to it. We're coming up in a ring of fire. And like, that's when I first started to feel like, okay, I can make it here.
That was such a like visibly and like brand different time for you know the Oregon. Like, do you notice that absence of like darkness nowadays? That like monstrous vampire type character, Undertaker like character, and is there a chance it ever comes back?
It'll be coming back this Sunday.
So all right. So
But
it
you'll have already seen
you've
it.
already seen it. So okay. So I didn't know this. So if you saw WrestleMania, you know what he's talking about. But so wow. So
Yeah,
maybe a
it,
return to the darkness.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of nice because it's neat to like dip into like an alter ego of a character, right? So I have Edge, and he was the ultimate opportunist. Then he was the rated R superstar.
Yeah.
He was in the Brood, so Brood Edge. I can bring Brood Edge out now from like 25 years ago and dip into that character when I feel like it can fit.
Right.
So I got a Hell in a Cell against a dude who calls himself the Demon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then I'm bringing that character
Nice,
out.
nice.
And now I can dip into some acting chops too. And like, because I'm not really a fucking vampire. I'm not really the devil, but you know, I can write a promo and craft a story.
Right.
And so far away from Adam, because this incarnation of Edge has become, like I said, a lot of Adam in there. And that's really fun. But that only comes like June is my 25th year with this company since my television debut. So with that equity And that time, like I grew up in front of these people.
Yeah.
I started here when I was 23, you know.
Dude, you've seen so much.
Seen it all. And they've seen me see it all.
Right.
So there's a certain relationship that you build with an audience through time and just through reps and through all of those things. But man, and more than anything, I'm just still having a blast.
It's probably the most important thing.
It is, because then I wouldn't do it otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's hard, man. Especially like I'm sure your body doesn't take damage like it used to.
no. You know what it is? I'm okay in there. It's the recovery. It takes longer.
You ice bathing?
Ice bath, sauna, everything. All the things I never used to do because I just feel like, oh, okay, yeah, we're the next show tomorrow. Got it. Where do I got to be? Jackson, Mississippi. Okay, 300-mile drive. Got it.
Well, you obviously went through that whole party phase too, like of
I was never a partier.
No, I just didn't. As the rated R superstar,
I know. I didn't live up to any of that.
Well, you had some vices though, right? Like, what were your?
Here was my thing. I was always, to me, if any time I went out and did party, I felt like crap, and it affected my performance. Right. And to me, the performance was the most important thing. I didn't see that as a kid and go, I can't wait to become a wrestler so I can party. I want to go out there and do this. Yeah. And I'm also like, I just love to read.
What?
So
Really?
So I just go back to my room and I'd read.
No way.
I swear to you.
I didn't see that coming.
I read 72 books last year.
What?
Yeah. I carry a book with me wherever I go.
Do you have a couple favorites? I hate superlatives, but you ever read any real transformative books?
There's this guy, Ryan Holiday, has some really interesting like Stoic philosophy books that are pretty interesting.
Stoicism?
Yeah.
Got it.
And this guy, Tim Grover, man, he helped train Kobe and Michael.
Got it.
Tim
S. Grover. Relentless.
Someone just connected us on a text thread, and I wasn't.
Books.
Logan didn't respond.
No,
You should.
He sent me a message and he said, "Hey, if you ever need anything, I'm here." But like I don't know him, so I don't know what that means. But he's phenomenon.
He is. His mindset is amazing.
I should have a conversation.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Are you into that kind of Stoic stuff?
I am, but not all the time. You know, like I try to carry myself a certain way all the time. But for me, when it comes to books, I'll read anything. Like,
read my book.
All right.
I'll send it to you.
I'm in.
It's a great book.
Yeah, I think you'll love it.
Yeah, I love devouring whatever I can get my hands on.
Interesting.
But I'm still one of those guys that likes to carry a book, smell the pages, open it, feel the binding.
So paperback.
I'm that guy.
So you don't have a vice though. You drink, smoke.
I occasionally, if there's a good hockey game, if I got something to celebrate. No, hockey, dude, you have no idea. So you come to my place. I've been sequestered to the back corner of the house, and I got a hockey. It's actually a Toronto Maple Leafs room. It's not even a hockey room. Nice. It's just Maple Leafs.
Nice.
And I sit back there with my scotch.
This sounds great.
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome.
And I sit there with my scotch, and I got my 30 years. I got my 25s, my 20s, my 16s, my 10s, my 12s, all in there. But scotch. Scotch is my thing. And I didn't even fully understand it. I had a gig on Vikings. So I was on Vikings for like four seasons. And we'd be standing out there in these Irish winters, just damp. You're wearing wool. You're wearing leather. Yeah. It just gets in your bones. So I get back to the condo, and they didn't have logs. So you put in these like peat briquettes in the fireplace. And the scotch kind of tastes like that smelled. And it warmed me right up. And cool. I was like, ooh, okay, I think I got a thing now.
Dude, but with the stuff you do in wrestling and even just your stature, you're a big guy. And you probably easily could have played hockey or like any other sport just as well as you did wrestling, but you chose wrestling. Have you ever thought about what life could have looked like if you chose a different athletic career path?
Well, here's like I played everything as a kid.
Okay.
Basketball, hockey, volleyball, baseball, soccer. I played it all. Enjoyed it all too. We didn't have a football team though, so I can play that. But hockey was my other love, but it was too expensive for us because it was just me and my mom. So we were kind of like meal to meal. So after 2 years of hockey, she was like, Adam, we can't pull this off.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to just kind of let that go. And about 2 years later, then I saw wrestling. I was like, I'm good. And truly, like, I believe that I was put here to do a couple things: entertain people and be a dad.
Did both.
And I'm doing
You're
both.
doing both.
I'm doing both.
You know what? It's funny that you brought up that angle of kind of affordability with wrestling. Man, I remember sitting watching WrestleMania when it was Ultimate Warrior, and it was like you know Razor and all those guys, and it didn't matter who you were, what basement you were in. As long as you had some pillows or something soft, an old mattress, beat up mattress, or a sleeping bag, whatever, a pile of clothes, you had a ring.
Yeah.
You had a ring. And that's so interesting and probably so relatable to a lot of people out there that, you know, like sports are expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's an interesting take that I hadn't heard before.
Yeah. And again, our household, like it just, I had to come to the realization pretty young that just wasn't in the cards, and kind of wrap my mind around that and go, okay, well, what can I do? And then I saw wrestling. I just thought, man, I gotta do that.
When I was first making videos as like a 10-year-old,
Yeah.
and throughout high school, my peers would look at me and be like, "What are you doing, dummy? Like, you're not gonna get famous, right?"
And now my kids, my little nephew come up and they say, what do you want to be? YouTuber.
No, it's insane.
Number one answer.
It's the one thing I got really lucky on really early. Like that, I bet on this industry, and I happen to be right.
You bet on yourself.
Yeah.
And anybody who's successful at multiple stages throughout their life have to bet on themselves.
I agree.
And if you're afraid to bet on yourself, then you're not going to do it.
Always bet on myself. Always.
You got to.
But where I'm going with that is I was made fun of for like making videos, which, you know, have their elements of non-coolness from time to time. I imagine as a wrestler, like you were your peers encouraging or was it like, dude, what are you doing? You want to be a professional wrestler, Adam?
The only person who thought I could do it was my mom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She was the only person.
Of course.
And from day one, bless her heart, man, she was so supportive. Like, she was my rock. And it was just her and I against the world is what it felt like too, right? Yeah. So, you know, all of those elements and everything. And then when I said, you know, when I'm 10 years old saying I want to be a wrestler, she was like, oh, okay. You know, and she'd sit down and she'd watch it with me.
Cool.
Now, when I was 17 and I won an essay contest to get free wrestling training, and I was driving down uninsured to go to wrestling training every week, she was like, okay, do it. Do it.
She was a rock.
Isn't it crazy how important parenthood is? I mean, it's just insane.
It made such a difference because everybody at my school, like, I tried to hide it from people at school because I started training when I was still in high school, right? You know, like, I was voted most likely to become WWE champion and all of those things. So it got out and people would come to like weekend shows and I'd be like, I'm in spandex.
Yeah.
Hi, Todd. How's it going? You know, and there's Bethany Lee. Man. You know, like,
man.
That thing,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So, but I grew past it. Eventually, I went to college for radio broadcasting because I thought it would help me with my inflection, my tone.
Oh, cool.
That was the idea for that. And a week after I graduated, I got my first call to do a WWF match in Hamilton Cops Coliseum, May 10th, 1996. A week after I finished. Oh, yeah. Bob Spark, Plug Holly, first match on. Razor Ramon was at the curtain. Ultimate Warrior was at the curtain. All those guys were at the curtain waiting for me to fail, I think. And I got through the back and they're like, wow, kid, it was a good job. Nice. I was like, that's a tough crowd. Okay. I'm doing something right.
That had to be a massive boost for you.
Razor pulled me aside and he goes, man, kid, you got it. You just got to figure out how to work in front of 10 and take it to 10,000.
Yeah.
How did that feel for you? Because I think everyone has those moments where they look back and they get that credibility boost from a meaningful person. I mean, he was a big one for me. I've had a number of other guys along the way that have kind of given me that boost. How did that feel for you?
It's a validation.
Yeah.
You know, and once you get that validation from people who have succeeded to that degree.
It's like I'm not crazy anymore.
Yeah, okay, all right. There's something to this.
Yeah.
Like, the feelings that I'm having are warranted because other people are seeing it.
Yeah.
And I just got those 10,000 people who did not know who the hell I was. I got them to react. Now, all I did is go out and dance in a very Caucasian fashion. And I did this horrible running man because like I just got to get a reaction.
Yeah.
And they all started booing.
But you got a reaction.
But I got a reaction.
And you got that validation.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that spandex started feeling a little bit more
A
comfortable.
little bit more
right?
comfortable.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Isn't it crazy
Little
how
bit.
that works?
Yeah. Yeah. And then from there, it was just, God, what a wild ride. Like but I truly, I can look to like wrestling. I met my wife here.
Yeah.
You know, I have 2 kids because we met here. Like my entire life, the entire trajectory of my life has been changed because of this job. And then to not have it for 9 years and get it back, dude, I don't look like every nanosecond I'm doing this, I appreciate it because I know like that it can be gone.
Yeah, it's like you have a second life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to dive into this. I'm incredibly fascinated by this this injury that you had. It was a neck injury.
Yeah.
You had one surgery.
Yeah.
And then the WWE told you, like, essentially, you're a liability guy. You're not in wrestling shape. You have to retire.
So what had happened was I ruptured 2 discs in my neck at 29 years old. Again, all those ladder matches, right? They take a toll.
Yeah.
So,
You think?
and so I had to get a double fusion. And they took the bone from the hip and blah, blah, blah. And it was like a year at that point to recuperate from. So I came back from that, wrestled 9 more years. And they said, listen, this, the discs on either side are going to slam off that fusion, off that titanium plate. Your career is going to be shorter. It's like, all right, well, I haven't been world champ yet. And I got to do that. Like I checked off all the other stuff. And it's entertainment, it is. But being given an opportunity with the world championship, it's like you're trusted. You're being given the Oscar or the tip of the hat. Like you are trusted with the baby. And I had to do that. So in those 9 years, I came back and I became this vile, just no redeeming qualities villain. And I really leaned into it. And when we were talking about things that I would tap into, I was like, okay, I want to be like the Guns N' Roses of wrestling. Just that slimy, gutter-dwelling guy that you wouldn't want anywhere near your woman because he'd probably steal her.
Yep.
And then beat your ass. So
And then you'd play his song afterwards.
yes. Yes. So in
November Rain.
stand in front of a church. Yeah. But in doing that, I was wrestling all of the top baby faces in the company who just happened to be like Undertaker, Big Show, Batista, John Cena,
Right.
Kane.
Right.
Who's the one getting thrown around? That's my job, right?
yeah.
So eventually it did take its toll. And I had just assumed it was normal because I got a double fusion and I land on my back for a living. Okay, I'm always going to have a headache. That's just the way it is. I didn't realize that isn't just the way it is. I had developed spinal stenosis, which is a narrowing of the spinal column and it shuts down your spinal cord. So it was being pinched like a straw. And we didn't realize that, the full extent of that, until after WrestleMania 27. I was world champ. Did the match.
Yeah.
They said, we want you to get a little testing. Got the testing, and that's when we found out. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't expect that. At least at this stage. I was 37. I figured I'd go to 40, right? And so I was like, oh shit, I better wrap my mind around this and figure out what it is I'm gonna do. And acting fell in my lap because this executive producer of the show, Haven, wanted to tie in with wrestling. Yep. They saw my retirement speech. One episode turned into 41, and then I realized, okay, I enjoy this. It's not quite like wrestling, but I still enjoy it. And then got the second neck surgery.
Yeah.
So now I have a triple fusion.
But that was the one, right?
That was the one.
That second neck surgery. So this is where I get a little fuzzy. Was it an amazing surgeon that happened to heal you right up? Was it just because the second surgery opened a...
So the second surgery took the pressure off my cord and they fused me a level up. So I should have lost mobility, but I haven't. And all I can equate it to is that I really work on my neck. Like I train my neck.
Oh, really? What kind of stuff do you do?
So I got this thing called an iron neck.
I think I have it. Is it the circle around your head?
The halo?
Looks like a moron.
Oh, you look like the Great Gazoo from the Flintstones.
Yeah,
it's dated reference, but
my dad
somewhere will get it. But
you do this thing and all the next.
And
okay.
And for me, what that did was attack and strengthen all of those little muscles that get attacked when you bump.
Yeah.
The surrounding
Yeah,
stuff.
it's not so much the fusion, it's making sure all of this is like good and ready to go. Between that, my diet, and honestly my mentality. I don't know if there's another way to put it. And Dr. Maroon, who did the surgery, is kind of agreed to the same thing. He goes, I really don't know if I can fully explain it, except that you just think differently.
Wait a second. Dr. Maroon was the one who medically retired you.
Yeah.
And then he also did the second surgery.
He
and then he unretired you
Yes.
8 years later, right?
9 years later, yep.
Because I in the doc, your wife, especially, by the way, shout out to her.
Yeah.
What a great person.
She's the best.
Her
I'm biased, but
Yeah, I mean, bro, she has that supportive, like she really loves you. And,
Yeah.
and as much as she wanted you to do the thing that you love, she said, what, you have to be medically cleared by like a bunch of doctors and she has to see it for herself. And when he did it, it sounded like she didn't think in any world he was going to be the final clearance for you to wrestle.
she equated him to the big boss in the video game.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what I thought too. Like even going in, I was like, I know I'm good. I can do this. But that doesn't mean anything.
You need to hear it from Bowser.
Bowser needs to tell us, right? Exactly. So, and then, man,
But as a doctor who medically retired you, he was like, this can't be right. How has this recovery happened?
yeah, we've had some pretty incredible discussions, and I think he's as dumbfounded as me sometimes.
Yeah, I thought for sure he'd be inclined to be like, no,
Yeah.
I medically retired you. I know how bad this is.
It's a miracle.
And literally, it's what it sounds like.
Well, I think also too, it's like I'm on a different schedule now. You know, I'm not trying to maintain like I said, the 220 a year. It's not feasible, not possible. Like, and nobody needs to see me 220 times a year. Let's face it.
But something else that's like so apparent about you as you speak here about your regimen is that you put in the work. And I mean like into all of the individual details of this specialty that is, your career. And you look at a lot of these other guys and, not taking anything away from, but there are the party guys. There are the guys that are more focused on this or focused on that. You live this. And I actually see a lot of it in him as well. This thing is what he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to party. He doesn't want to go out. Vices don't exist to him. He is locked and loaded into this 24/7. And I guarantee you that a lot of those unretired people are the ones that are willing to put in 15, 20 hours a week working out their neck to become unretired. Like not everybody's willing to do that.
I was just in the gym with two other dudes who have had really bad neck injuries and surgeries. And we were in there and we were going.
Right.
It's just it's a different.
Yeah.
I mean,
the neck.
It's a different mindset.
The neck is.
I need to get in and out of this industry, dude. No, seriously, every single person, every wrestler that sits in that seat just tells me how messed up they are and all these injuries, and it's already happened. And I just want to watch my health, man.
Yeah, for sure. But here's what I've also learned. That's also a mindset. As long as I keep moving, I keep moving.
But also it's
when I
mean,
stop
like what's the
moving.
extent of
no,
moving?
but
Like,
it's a dedication.
As long as you can do this, you're
It's
still
like
moving.
you can move.
No,
But it's a dedication, dude. It's like, look at any sport. I mean, he for his whole life, he knew he wanted to do this. Obviously, when you watch it, it's not going to be, you're going to be prone to some hiccups. But dude, like, look at every basketball player. Look at every legacy hockey player, every legacy football player. This is an athletic
there's a price to be paid.
prowess. Yeah.
There's a toll, for
paid,
sure.
and it's worth it, I think.
I believe it is because I look at the life I've been able to, supply to my children.
Yeah.
And, I know that's why my mom busted her ass working 2 jobs, is so that I'd have the opportunity to be able to supply it for her grandkids. And I'm able to do that. And I've been able to do it by doing something I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And I realize how rare that is in everyday society. Take 100 people, ask them if they absolutely love what they're doing.
Yeah.
Do you absolutely love it?
Me, I do.
The same way he does?
I do. Oh, wrestling?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think I love it like you love it.
I'm a different beast when it comes to wrestling. I am. I'm a lifer. And even though I love acting and even though I've had some good chunky roles, I still fought to get this back.
What percentage of guys do you think have the mentality that you have, where they saw it, they wanted it from day one, and they did it?
I think you can tell who they are.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Undertaker. I think,
Yeah.
I think
The greats.
Yeah.
You kind of have, you have to. It
Triple
shows.
H.
It's the guys that are still around. To
Yeah.
be honest, like I seen Undertaker walking around
Yeah.
backstage. Triple H is. What the fuck
There's
was
no
that?
fucking
One more
way.
time. One more time.
No, I like
No,
that.
no,
That
one more time.
happens.
What do you-
Go ahead.
Asking about breaking the streak of Undertaker.
Oh yeah. Okay. Speaking of Undertaker, sorry, we got a guy in our ear.
That was you have to understand.
Was Oz just talking to us?
You're in a groundbreaking situation here.
It's never
this
happened.
is the first episode out of 400 about where we've had someone that's able to communicate with us behind the scene. We don't even want them communicating with us. I don't. What the fact that it just happened is horrible. We were in a great place.
No,
there.
but it's good. It's good. 'cause
Yes,
that's a good
You
transition.
turned down. Well, at least I've been told by my production team, is that you turned down the idea of taking away the championship belt from Undertaker. Is that
ruining-
wrong?
ruining his WrestleMania streak.
Sorry, the WrestleMania streak. Correct.
Yeah. So when we were gonna meet, I got a snort there
Sorry.
too. The main event of WrestleMania 24, and I think his streak at that point was like 15-0, and it was kind of thrown by me like, what do you think? And I was like, absolutely not, absolutely not. Like, why would we do that? That makes zero sense to me. I'm already a made man. I'm in the main event of WrestleMania. What's it going to do for me? Sure, it would do something, I guess, but like, let's save that. Let's save that for somebody who can really use that boost. And to me, as the years started to go, I was like, Reigns is that guy. And let's save it for that. But it wasn't my call, obviously. But when it was brought to my attention, or at least thrown by me as an option, I just thought no, because it was just as important as the World Championships at WrestleMania. So why take away one of our marquee attractions?
That's some real team player shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, I was already made. If I'm in the main event of WrestleMania, I don't need the streak. I don't need to break that.
Did you ever regret that decision?
Not at all. Not at all.
Do you think ruining a streak eventually was a poor decision?
Yes.
By the org.
Yes.
I people go back and forth on
Yes.
this.
I do. And the only reason I say that is because I don't think Brock needed it. He was already a world beater.
Yeah.
He was already UFC heavyweight champion. He was already all of these things, whereas Roman was just on the cusp. And if he were the first guy, whew, man, I mean, obviously it still worked out pretty well. But I think it could have sped it up.
Dude, first, I want to say this before I forget. Watching from the outside and having the opportunity and blessing to sit here with you and people from the org and hearing your takes on what the world has seen is so interesting to me, because this organization, you could make a full series of movies about it.
Absolutely.
Like it from the level of fan engagement and intensity, to the corporate team, to the events themselves, to the injuries, to the personal
The road
lives.
trips, the blah.
Insane. So thank you for coming on and talking about it. But I want to ask you, is the Taker to you like the ultimate, like, symbol of greatness in the WWE?
And I mean, he's got to be, one of them for sure. Because if you look at, in terms of longevity, and longevity at the top, that's the hardest part.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the hardest part,
Right.
to be able to maintain it. Like, to be able to be a Tom Brady, and to be able to and yes, what we do is entertainment, but I don't care. You still have to be in great shape, mentally on. There's so many plates that you have to keep in the air from smashing when you're out there. And to be able to do all of those things for that long with a character, by the way, who initially, the dude's dead. How's that going to work?
On paper, it was a bit odd.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How's that going to work? And guess what? He made it fucking work.
Yeah.
Well, he had a good partner for a long time.
Well, absolutely. But without him as that driving force behind, reinventing himself, because that's a lot of what this is too, then it doesn't work. If he were still just sitting up and painted white with purple under his eyes, then that's not going to work for longer than it did. And he was smart enough to realize and focus.
Was he a hands-on creative like yourself?
Maybe not. I to an extent. I mean, I'm like,
You're super. I mean, even watching you draw your outfits like well. By the way, was really impressed. You're in the trenches, dude.
yeah. To like, it can be exhausting at times.
I'm sure for the teams sometimes they're like, bro, the amount of notes I get back on blah blah blah.
Yeah, and like Beth will just sit there and like I drew the storyboard for my entrance this year.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's too far, bro. Too far.
Because
bro.
I see it in my head and I'll explain it and they go, but I'm like,
What is it? What are you doing? They'll have seen it.
Okay. So I got Slayer South of Heaven, and I figure we're Hell in a Cell. Like I should come up to the south of heaven. Absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
And this incarnation of Brood Edge is kind of morphing more into the devil. So I got some giant wings made.
Oh, shit.
Dude, sick. I had that in my notes for a thing I wanted to try. You had wings made?
Yes.
I'm jealous.
See, if you had drawn it instead of just putting it in your notes, they would have been able to visualize
I'm
it.
gonna find this note. I'm gonna find this note.
So last year I was like, all right, if I get to do this character again, this is what I'd like to do. And then I had pitched the idea. I was like, if you got me and Bálor, we're missing an opportunity here if we don't do Brood versus Demon and do it in Hell in a Cell. So initially it was going to be at Royal Rumble. I was like, Mania's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Maybe we should save it for that. And so then I started drawing wings, and I have this amazing woman, Sylvia Jensen, Warren Star. She makes clothes for rock stars, and she made these wings.
Do you have can I see them?
Yeah, it's on my phone.
KP, I actually really want to see. Here was my note. Can you hand him his phone?
Dude, we need, at some point, KP will be on the podcast.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I know. Right?
I got questions for KP.
All right.
Here's my note. Get shot up out of the tunnel with wings that spread like a maverick. Face away at first, then turn.
Question mark? Oh!
No! Yes!
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, they're perfect.
So that, and then I got this as well.
Cool.
So, but again, in trying to explain, I'm like, okay, so when the drums kick in, if there's a single spotlight, and I'm going to be wearing this mirrored skull cowl, and that's the look I get. Like, what? You're gonna? I don't really grasp what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And then after that, when the lyrics kick in, I'll do the wings. And then if we have explosions there, and then if graphic is a bunch of souls, if a bunch of souls are being kicked to hell off of these cliffs, that'd be really cool. And it's like,
Like, right.
sure, Adam. That's
Adam, watch
Hey,
go,
can
watch
we
go.
get a medical professional down to the
yeah. And then you get these things in me, and Jesus, who knows what I'll come up with.
Now you're going, bro.
Woo!
I
Feeling good.
I pitched, I think on my first WrestleMania ever, I was like, I want to come in on a zip line. And they're like, calm the fuck down. Right? But then this WrestleMania, they're making it happen. I'm zip lining in.
There you go.
And it almost didn't happen. Even this year, I was told no, and then I pushed back. I was like, is it like a liability thing? Is it an insurance thing? I'll sign whatever. And Kevin made it happen.
It's
The team's unbelievable.
They are.
They can make anything come to life.
and there's been times where it's like, I want to use this music, and they're like, well, this is what it'll cost. I'll pay it. Like, I'll pay it. Cool, whatever.
Respect.
Because
And you got Slayer.
yeah,
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Do you think you would ever do a live sex party?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, right.
Does it involve the love sack? Because I'm gonna say my wife probably wouldn't dig that too much.
No, wait. We got something in the gimmick of the Rated R Superstar.
Oh,
It
God.
says here, led to a live sex party with Lita.
A celebration. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Sorry, I should have said celebration. I said party.
Oh,
My
a
bad.
sex celebration.
Yeah, that was the night after I won the title for the first time. And that was brought to me. I was like, really don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But
These things live forever, bro.
here we are.
Decades
you know.
later, you're going to have some idiots asking about it on a podcast.
Sorry about that.
Well,
Sorry.
Didn't see that coming, did
and-
you?
yeah, I figure at some point it's always
notes.
coming. No pun intended. So but now like where I'm at, like in terms of like I am full on dad.
Yeah.
So when I think, I'm like, oh gosh,
Dude, that might happen. Like, even for example, this past weekend, at WrestleMania. That's actually tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm going to be in the front row dressed as Prime with a bunch of porn stars. And in like 3 or 4 years, I'm probably going to be married to like a normal, not that they're not normal, but like a normal, nice girl. And have to explain what I was doing with these porn stars in the front row of WrestleMania talking about live sex parties.
There you go.
How was that transition out? Is it possible?
Well, I mean, clearly.
Okay.
You know, so because I wake up just like every other dad going, come on, girls, like this early, it's Saturday. We don't need to be up.
3 girls?
2 girls.
2 girls.
2 girls.
And so you're the only guy in the house.
Yes.
What is that like?
It's there's a lot of estrogen.
Yeah.
A lot. And so I had my husky. He was the only other boy in the house. He was, and I lost him on Easter due to old age. And but I'm getting another one.
Oh,
another
nice.
husky
Next week.
That's
Oh,
wow. Okay.
congrats. You're
I'm so
pumped.
excited.
You're
Puppy
so
husky?
pumped.
Huh?
Puppy husky.
Puppy
You
husky.
haven't picked out. Oh, you got him.
I got him.
First pick male.
Do you have them named?
I got it. I got a list. Odin,
Cool.
Stone,
Nice.
Wendell, my favorite hockey player of all time. Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe.
So
So biased. Odin is a sick fucking name.
right.
And there's a kill streak in Call of Duty called the Odin, and it's a sick fucking kill streak. And I like the sickest, and that name is just dope.
Okay,
like
well,
that's
when you
just
see
a
it, but
dope
also
name.
I have those made for the entrance too. So
For the dog.
no, that's that's his collar. That's Odin's collar.
Sick.
Yeah,
To go on your arm.
yeah,
Oh, it's like you guys. It's spikes. It's a bunch of spikes.
That looked like Odin could wear it.
yeah. But, okay, I gotta find him here real quick.
Yeah, no, I
But
wanna
I'm
see the
super
husky.
excited about him, and he's awesome.
That's that is a
there
that is
he
a
is.
fun breed. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
he's
mean-
pure husky.
Yeah, Siberian. So all white
Wow.
with like some red around the back of his ears and blue eyes, and yeah,
You got a boy back in the house.
I got some more testosterone in the house. Yeah,
I can imagine. I feel like a lot of wrestlers have only daughters.
it seems like it, and it's called the wrestler's curse.
Wait, really? Is that what?
That's
'cause
what it's called.
The
Yeah.
Rock. I think even Triple H.
all girls,
Just daughters.
all girls. Although all of that being said, I realized that like I was again put here to be a girl dad. The way I'm wired, the way I love it.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, that
the-
father-daughter relationship is the craze. It's so
Man,
special.
it also you also realize like instantaneously, oh, I can murder someone.
You're like, I've never
Yeah.
felt like this in
I
my
bet.
life.
Oh yeah, like I didn't know that chip was in me, and
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
oh, it's there.
Oh, yeah.
because if somebody touches these girls,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bite their throat out. Yeah,
The brood.
yeah, like it's and that's a weird thing to come to terms with, but I sound like a freak right
No,
now.
every dad is like, yeah, dude.
I get it,
I
totally,
know what
100%.
he's saying.
Jed listening to this. He's like, yeah, I know exactly.
It's just
what he's talking about.
and but God, like it's so amazing. Like I know you always hear parents say that, and it's like, well, you don't know what it's like until you. But man, it's just I won't say that because everybody has a different path and everybody has a different, like they're wired for different things. Man, I was wired to be a dad for those 2 little girls, and it is
Amazing.
Are you
It
are
is.
you Scandinavian at all?
yeah.
What's your bloodline?
So I've never met my dad. It's always just me and my mom. So from my mom's side, Scottish, Irish.
but you
did
don't,
the
look, you don't
DNA.
look anything like your mom.
I know. So I did the migratory path. I did the DNA, whatever in me and all that stuff. So the migratory path is Fennoscandia, like 48% or 58%.
yeah.
So Sweden, Norway, Finland. Then it goes down to the Orkney Isles, the Scottish Orkney Isles, down to Ireland, across to Iceland, and then to Canada.
Oh, so you actually are a Viking.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. We were watching this documentary, and my girlfriend was like, he has a little Scandinavian in him because she's Danish, and I looked directly at her, and I was like, baby, you guys actually kind of look alike.
Yeah. It's like you can watch a movie on my forehead. Like it's a Viking helmet.
Do you know-
And not because I'm losing hair, just because I got a big forehead. I got
Speaking
a
of
big
losing
head.
hair, someone I wish that was on the show for the first time ever. Greg Paul. If Greg Paul sat next to this man, dude, they would click. Yes.
No, I don't think- I don't
but
think they look
No,
alike.
they do. They have a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Okay.
My father.
You guys would have had a great conversation.
Yeah, you ever chop wood?
Yeah,
Yeah.
got to live in the mountains.
Smoke a cigar ever?
Yeah.
All right.
And scotch.
You ever flip a tire?
Yep.
Oh, you guys would get along.
Yep. No, our tire's 450. It's a big
Oh, you got
tire.
a big ass.
My wife can
tire,
do it too.
No way.
You ever kill a snake?
Yes.
Chop its head off?
Yeah. Had to.
You got to. You have to sometimes.
Got to. And seriously, we live in the mountains, so
Yeah.
like, there's all kinds of critters.
We
And-
we killed the snake once in front of Mike, and he was not having it. Mike's not a hunter.
Well, it wasn't the killing part. It was here. I'll tell you why. It was beyond the realm of what I would consider to be a threat to the home.
Yeah.
Like it was way out. So my thoughts generally are like, if it's out there, like let it be.
Sure.
But for good reason, I didn't know this. Greg Paul, he wanted to eat the thing. He fucking ate it.
If you kill it,
He
you eat
ate
it.
it.
That's his rule.
Yeah,
Fair
which
enough.
is a great rule. I
Yeah.
respect that
Yeah,
heavily.
fair enough. This was Copperhead in the deck. I was like, nope,
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta go.
Oh, no, those got to die.
No,
For
this
sure.
this was a fucking rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake,
Which, by the way, not that one, obviously, because it perished via the hands of Greg Paul. Ended up killing like 2 of his cats.
Yeah,
These cats run around.
can't
and,
take
you know,
that chance.
Yeah,
you know,
And it was on the property. It wasn't like in the woods. He
Right.
was like he was under some stuff.
Some wood.
Some
Yeah.
wood.
He was out in the. He owns
a ranch.
the name again.
Timothy
please.
Leary.
Timothy Leary's
Father-
ranch.
father of LSD.
So you'll be walking around there
What
and
has
you'll
happened
see
on
like
that
yes,
ranch, by
Yeah,
the way?
what has
Dude,
happened on that
wow.
ranch?
insanity. You'll like find these like little huts with these like scrawled drawings on the wall, and you
Yeah.
try to put yourself back to what was
Yeah.
happening at that
and
time.
what they had ingested,
Yes.
and how they saw it.
100
Yes.
million tabs of acid were produced at that ranch. It was raided by the FBI.
There's gotta
They,
be
they
some
arrested
there.
7 hippies.
Yeah, they're just like under a floorboard.
Yeah,
or
there's
something,
gotta
right?
be. We gotta find it. Dude.
We gotta find it and take it.
Yo, really quick, because I know we're probably about to wrap. I want to touch back on one thing that you said today, because I think it's really extremely important for the audience. You talked about that moment of credibility boost from Razor and from
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior, and the time before that being this being in this place where you're trying to prove to yourself and you're trying to stick with something that there had to be parts of that you had doubt, times where you had doubt in your mind. And I want to just kind of, reinforce this with the audience. You never know how close you are to getting that credibility boost from doing something that makes people that are already in the space look at you and say, wow, this person has something real to offer. And so to those people who are out there still in that space before getting that credibility boost, keep going. Keep going out there in the spandex, because it could be right around the corner, honestly.
For me, the mindset was failure is not an option. I truly, like, everything told me I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I initially I just wanted to do it because I loved it and I wanted to buy my mom a house. Right? That was the goal. And did both of those, and I was like, wow, all right. Let's see what else we can do now.
Yeah.
And now to being a dad and, wrote a book and been on a bunch of TV shows and stuff. Like, I've done stuff that I didn't expect on top of all the stuff that I did expect, which, come on, So I'm a lucky dude, but and I hate to be that guy, but I love my life. I really, really do. I love where
good
I'm
for
at.
you.
Like,
Good for you.
Yeah,
man.
don't
I
feel
wish
bad about that.
everybody could feel the way I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, for sure. Good for you, man. I think we're in a weird spot in society where, like, I'm not sure if happy people make other people happy anymore. I feel like putting yourself out there and finding internal joy for some reason rubs a lot of people the wrong way. And
Yep.
I think it's nasty. I think people are really maybe feeling unsatisfied with their own personal life and feel the need to bring others down. But coming from a place of love, like, I wish that for everyone, and don't be ashamed to say it. Good for you for loving your life. Good for you for crafting a life that was didn't have a blueprint and you made it work, and you deserve all of it, bro. So good for you.
well, I thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
It was. It's been a fun ride.
good, bro. Well, I was gonna ask when you getting off the merry-go-round? Like, how much longer can you go before you gotta retire, man?
So I don't want to stick around to the point where it's like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
You know, like,
He wheeled in.
oh, okay. There,
Oh,
You gotta still go out on
We'll give
top.
him the
Come on,
courtesy
top.
cheer.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Edge.
I don't want to get there. Right now, when I come out now, I feel the explosion, and I feel like all of that to throw at them, and that's still there. I don't know if that for me would ever go away, but I feel like in this last run, like the Rocky Balboa movie, which I watched 2 nights before my comeback, and I was in tears because Stallone's monologues in it were all things that were going through my mind. And I realized I got to get this out of the basement because I didn't have the chance to end it the way I wanted to. This time I'm going to get to do that. And now I got 2 little girls that I got to spend the rest of my life taking care of. So I got a little wish list of things that are still to do, but it's not long, and neither is the time.
Yeah.
I think at most I might have another year in me to be able to do it at this level and still be able to do it at an elite level where I can still hang when I got to get in with Austin Theory, who's 25. Yeah. And, he wasn't born when I had my first match for WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you don't want to be going out like Mickey Rourke in the wrestling.
No. I want to be, sitting on my mountain and watching you guys do your thing and just going, man, good for them.
Respect, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, Edge, Adam Copeland.
Damn. Dude. This is so good.
We're going to put some ad spend behind that. Guys, thank you for listening to this episode of Impulsive. Make sure you watch this guy, Edge, wrestle. He's incredible. Follow him on social media at
Edge Rated R on Instagram and Twitter.
Boom. Nice. Branding. We love you guys. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.